What if the story of humanity is not as straightforward as we believe? What if, hidden beneath layers of stone, bone, and myth, there lies evidence not only of our prehistoric ancestors, but of visitors from a different time? Imagine standing in the flickering firelight of a Neanderthal camp 50,000 years ago. Hunters sharpened stone blades, families huddled together against the roar of the Ice Age wind. Suddenly, one artifact, an object that does not belong, glints among the stone tools and animal bones. A fragment of technology, a carving or a symbol far too advanced for its era. Could this be an accident of nature or the fingerprint of time travelers who left their mark on prehistory? Throughout archaeology, strange discoveries emerge that do not fit the established timeline of human evolution. Ooparts, out-of-place artifacts, have puzzled scientists for centuries. A 300-million-year-old metal sphere found in South Africa. Footprints pressed into ancient stone beside those of dinosaurs. Carvings that depict flying machines long before humanity ever left the ground. Are these merely coincidences, misinterpretations, or hoaxes? Or are they the breadcrumbs of something far stranger? Time travelers visiting lost civilizations, walking among prehistoric humans, leaving whispers of knowledge behind. This video is not about proving or disproving time travel. It is about opening the door of imagination and evidence. We will journey into the depth of prehistory, examining fossils, ice age caves, and the mysteries of ancient archaeology. We will ask, were our ancestors alone in their struggle against nature, or were they being observed, perhaps even guided, by visitors from another era? Prepare yourself, because once you start to see the anomalies of the past, you cannot unsee them.
Archaeology is often seen as a science of certainty, carefully piecing together the fragments of stone, bone, and soil to reconstruct the lives of prehistoric humans. Yet, in reality, it is a field built as much on questions as on answers. Every discovery opens a door, but just as often, it raises mysteries that challenge what we think we know about human evolution, the Ice Age, Neanderthals, and the lost civilizations that may have preceded us. To understand the possibility of time travelers in prehistory, we must first step firmly into the realm of what archaeology and science already reveal. The prehistoric timeline. Our story begins more than 2 million years ago, when the first members of the genus Homo emerged from Africa. Homo habilis shaped the earliest stone tools. Homo erectus mastered fire and spread across continents. Later came the Neanderthals, who thrived in Europe and Western Asia for hundreds of thousands of years, adapting to the harsh glacial world of the Ice Age. And finally, Homo sapiens, our species, emerged around 300,000 years ago, bringing with them symbolic thought, art, and language. By 40,000 years ago, humans were painting the walls of caves with astonishing images of animals, constellations, and abstract symbols. These early masterpieces, from Chauvet Cave in France to Altamira in Spain, testify not only to survival, but to imagination. And it is here, amid the records of stone and pigment, that the whispers of anomalies sometimes appear. Ooparts, out-of-place artifacts. Archaeologists have cataloged thousands of objects that perfectly fit into our timeline of human progress. Stone axes, flint spearheads, bone needles. But alongside them are stories of ooparts, artifacts seemingly too advanced or too strange for their time. One of the most controversial is the Koso artifact, discovered in California in 1961. Beneath layers of fossilized rock, amateur collectors claimed to find what looked like a modern spark plug. Geologists argue that the concretion around it formed tens of thousands of years ago. How could a man-made machine part exist so deep in prehistory? Was it a hoax? A misidentified natural formation? Or, if one dares to imagine, evidence of a technological object out of its time? Archaeology is often seen as a science of certainty, carefully piecing together the fragments of stone, bone, and soil to reconstruct the lives of prehistoric humans. Yet, in reality, it is a field built as much on questions as on answers. Every discovery opens a door, but just as often, it raises mysteries that challenge what we think we know about human evolution, the Ice Age, Neanderthals, and the lost civilizations that may have preceded us. To understand the possibility of time travelers in prehistory, we must first step firmly into the realm of what archaeology and science already reveal. The prehistoric timeline. Our story begins more than 2 million years ago, when the first members of the genus Homo emerged from Africa. Homo habilis shaped the earliest stone tools. Homo erectus mastered fire and spread across continents. Later came the Neanderthals, who thrived in Europe and Western Asia for hundreds of thousands of years, adapting to the harsh glacial world of the Ice Age. And finally, Homo sapiens, our species, emerged around 300,000 years ago, bringing with them symbolic thought, art, and language. By 40,000 years ago, humans were painting the walls of caves with astonishing images of animals, constellations, and abstract symbols. These early masterpieces, from Chauvet Cave in France to Altamira in Spain, testify not only to survival, but to imagination. And it is here, amid the records of stone and pigment, that the whispers of anomalies sometimes appear. Ooparts. Out-of-place artifacts. Archaeologists have cataloged thousands of objects that perfectly fit into our timeline of human progress. Stone axes, flint spearheads, bone needles. But alongside them are stories of ooparts, artifacts seemingly too advanced or too strange for their time. One of the most controversial is the Koso artifact, discovered in California in 1961. Beneath layers of fossilized rock, amateur collectors claimed to find what looked like a modern spark plug. Geologists argued that the concretion around it formed tens of thousands of years ago. How could a man-made machine part exist so deep in prehistory? Was it a hoax, a misidentified natural formation, or, if one dares to imagine, evidence of a technological object out of its time? In South Africa, miners unearthed small metallic spheres, some with perfectly etched grooves circling their surface. These Klerksdorp spheres are dated to nearly 3 billion years old, long before the rise of any complex life. Scientists argue they are natural mineral formations. Others insist they resemble manufactured objects. Could they be evidence of lost civilizations, or even travelers across time leaving behind symbols we cannot decipher? Ancient depictions of the impossible. Moving from objects to imagery, prehistoric art provides another window into mystery. In the caves of Valcamonica, Italy, strange engravings depict figures wearing helmets and suits reminiscent of astronauts. In ancient Mesoamerican carvings, some researchers claim to see rockets and aircraft. Skeptics argue that such interpretations are products of our modern imagination, projecting technology onto symbolic or religious art. And yet, the parallels are difficult to ignore. If time travelers had journeyed into the deep past, how would prehistoric humans have depicted them? Likely as gods, spirits, or strange beings unlike themselves. Could the cave paintings and carvings we study today be the echoes of those encounters? Footprints frozen in time. Archaeological anomalies are not limited to artifacts and art. In Texas, at the site of Paluxy River, fossilized tracks have been discovered that appear to show human-like footprints alongside those of dinosaurs. If true, this would collapse our entire understanding of Earth's history, since humans and dinosaurs are separated by more than 60 million years. Mainstream science attributes the tracks to misidentified dinosaur prints eroded into human-like shapes. But to others, the possibility lingers. Could these be travelers stepping across time, leaving footprints in epochs they did not belong? The scientific response. Mainstream archaeology urges caution. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and many of these artifacts fall apart under close scrutiny. Some are hoaxes, born of mischief or the desire for fame. Others are natural formations misunderstood by those hungry for mystery. Yet the persistence of these stories reveals something deeper about our species. Human beings are not only tool makers and survivors, we are storytellers. Our imaginations seek patterns in the chaos, connections across time. We ask questions our ancestors might never have dared to ask. What if? Could it be? Did someone walk these lands before us, not from the past, but from the future? And intriguingly, even within the boundaries of physics, scientists have not entirely dismissed the possibility of time travel. Einstein's theory of relativity allows for the warping of time under extreme conditions of speed and gravity. Wormholes, cosmic strings, and quantum paradoxes are all discussed in scientific literature, not as established facts, but as possibilities that stretch the imagination. If such phenomena could one day be mastered, is it truly impossible that beings from our own distant future, or from other civilizations far advanced, could have traveled into the deep past where prehistoric humans gazed up at the same stars we do today? What is certain is this: the archaeological record is incomplete. For every skeleton unearthed, thousands lie hidden. For every cave painting discovered, countless others fade in darkness. And for every neat explanation, there are anomalies, pieces that do not fit the puzzle of human evolution.
If the first part of our journey was about imagining prehistoric humans encountering the inexplicable, this second part plunges us into the debates that swirl around such claims. For every strange artifact or mysterious carving, there is an archaeologist, historian, or skeptic ready to provide a natural explanation. Yet, equally persistent are those who argue that the anomalies cannot be brushed aside so easily. The clash of perspectives. Archaeology thrives on evidence, context, and peer review. When ooparts, out-of-place artifacts, emerge, the scientific community often responds with skepticism. Many are proven hoaxes, others are explained as misinterpretations. Take the Antikythera mechanism discovered in a Greek shipwreck in 1901. For decades, it was dismissed as an unremarkable lump of bronze. Only later did researchers uncover its true nature, a sophisticated mechanical computer from over 2,000 years ago. It could predict eclipses, track planetary positions, and function with a complexity not seen again until medieval clockwork. Though it is not prehistoric, the Antikythera mechanism is a reminder. Sometimes what seems impossible for an era turns out to be real. Could similar discoveries in deeper prehistory eventually reveal lost knowledge or the faint fingerprints of time travelers? Scientists against the anomalies. Mainstream scholars argue firmly against time travel interpretations. They point out stratigraphy confusion. Objects can sink into older layers of rock through cracks, erosion, or geological shifts. Natural formations. Perfect spheres, grooves, or metallic shapes can form through natural processes mistaken for artifacts. Hoaxes. In the 19th and 20th centuries, faking mysteries was a profitable way to sell newspapers or gain attention. For example, the Paluxy River footprints, once claimed to show human tracks alongside dinosaurs, are now largely considered eroded dinosaur tracks misidentified under the eager eyes of mystery seekers. In the scientific method, caution prevails. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. The advocates of mystery. Yet dismissing anomalies outright leaves many unsatisfied. Authors like Eric von Däniken, Chariots of the Gods, or Michael Cremo, Forbidden Archaeology, argue that mainstream science often hides behind consensus, rejecting evidence that does not fit the established timeline. Von Däniken suggested that ancient myths, cave paintings, and carvings were depictions of extraterrestrials or perhaps even time travelers. Cremo compiled accounts of strange finds: human bones in coal deposits, tools in ancient strata, metallic objects dated to epochs long before humans. Critics accuse these writers of sensationalism, but their popularity reveals something important. Humanity hungers for mystery. We do not want the story of human evolution to be neat and closed. We want wonder, the possibility that prehistory hides secrets. Physics and the possibility of time travel. Interestingly, science itself does not dismiss time travel entirely. Relativity shows that time slows near the speed of light. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station age a fraction of a second less than those on Earth, a tiny form of time travel. Theoretical physics introduces other concepts: wormholes bending space-time, cosmic strings stretching across the universe, black holes where time itself distorts. If such phenomena can exist, might advanced beings someday harness them? If they did, what better laboratory than Earth's prehistory, an untouched stage where travelers could observe humanity at its dawn? Prehistoric myths revisited. Anthropologists studying early myths often encounter recurring motifs: visitors from the sky who teach agriculture, fire, or astronomy; shining beings who walk among mortals only to vanish; cycles of destruction and renewal where advanced knowledge is lost, then rediscovered. Skeptics say these are symbolic, reflecting the human imagination. Believers suggest they might be distorted memories of real encounters. If time travelers visited the Paleolithic, their presence could have echoed in myth, passed down until it reached recorded history.
Why does it matter whether time travelers left evidence in prehistory? At first glance, it seems like a speculative curiosity, an idea best left for science fiction novels. But when we look closer, the question touches on something deeper: our understanding of who we are, where we came from, and where we are going. Even if time travelers never set foot among Neanderthals or Ice Age hunters, the very possibility forces us to reflect on humanity's journey and our place in time itself. Lesson 1. Humility before the unknown. Prehistoric humans lived with constant uncertainty. Each day was a struggle: finding food, surviving predators, enduring harsh climates. Yet they looked up at the stars, painted visions on cave walls, and told stories of powers beyond themselves. They accepted mystery as part of life. In contrast, modern society often believes it has solved everything, that archaeology, genetics, and history provide neat answers. But anomalies remind us that the past is never fully closed. A spark plug in stone, footprints in the wrong layer, or myths of sky beings challenge our certainty. Whether these are evidence of time travelers or not, they humble us. They remind us that we are always students of time, never masters. Lesson 2. Human evolution is a story of survival and imagination. Imagine our ancestors during the Ice Age, shivering under animal skins, huddling in caves while storms raged. They survived not only because of strength, but because of imagination, the ability to see beyond the immediate moment. If we consider the possibility of time travelers, we see a mirror of this same trait. To even dream of moving through time is to think beyond survival, to imagine the impossible. In a way, speculation about time travel is an extension of the same imagination that allowed prehistoric humans to invent tools, art, and language. It shows us that the human spirit has always stretched beyond what is visible. Lesson 3. Knowledge can be both gift and burden. If, hypothetically, a time traveler had left behind advanced knowledge in prehistory, what would have happened? Would humanity have leapt forward, discovering civilization thousands of years earlier? Or would fragile tribes have collapsed under the weight of knowledge they could not use wisely? This reflection applies to us today. We wield technologies that our great-grandparents could scarcely imagine. artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, space exploration. Like prehistoric humans faced with a mysterious artifact, we hold tools of immense power without always knowing the consequences. The lesson is clear. Knowledge itself is not enough. Wisdom and how we use it is what determines survival. The shadows of extinction events, from the dinosaurs to the mammoths, remind us that progress does not guarantee permanence. Lesson 4. Time itself is a teacher. Prehistoric humans had no concept of time as we do. For them, life was cyclical. The return of seasons, the migration of herds, the phases of the moon. They marked these rhythms in carvings and paintings. To them, time was sacred, mysterious, alive. Today, we treat time as linear, measurable, something to be controlled. We obsess over minutes and schedules. Yet when we confront the idea of time travelers, the illusion cracks. Time is revealed not as a straight road, but as a vast river with eddies, loops, and unseen depths. If we learn anything from this, it is to respect time, not only as a resource, but as a mystery we may never fully master. Like our ancestors, we too should live with reverence for what time allows and what it hides. Lesson 5. The continuity of humanity. Whether Neanderthals mating strange visitors or modern humans dreaming of traveling back to time, the theme is continuity. We are part of a story millions of years long. Every fossil, every cave painting, every anomaly connects us to those who came before. If time travelers did visit prehistory, they too would be woven into this story. They would not stand apart, but become part of the same tapestry. This means that humanity's past, present, and future are not separate, but one continuum. Reflecting on this gives us perspective. Our lives, though brief, are threads in a cosmic fabric. We inherit not only DNA, but memory, myth, and possibility. The question is not just whether time travelers shaped prehistory, but how we, in turn, will shape the future. A mirror for the present. Let us pause and ask, why are we fascinated by these mysteries? Perhaps it is because we sense that our own age, like prehistory, stands at the edge of something immense. Just as the first Homo sapiens carved symbols that hinted at new consciousness, we too are carving new realities, through technology, through exploration, through dreams of traveling to the stars. Time travel stories are less about machines and paradoxes than about yearning. They express our desire to connect across generations, to learn from the past, and to ensure the future. They remind us that knowledge is a bridge, and that the bridge stretches both backward and forward in time. Closing this section. So, what do prehistoric anomalies teach us today? Whether or not they are evidence of time travelers, they challenge us to stay humble before the mysteries of history. Recognize imagination as humanity's oldest survival tool. Use knowledge with wisdom, not recklessness. Treat time as sacred, not just mechanical. Remember that we are part of a continuous story stretching far beyond our lifespans. Prehistoric humans might not have had the words for time travel, but they lived with its essence: memory of the past, vision for the future, and wonder at the unknown. And perhaps that is the true gift of these mysteries, not proof, but perspective.
From the icy winds of the Ice Age to the flickering firelight of Neanderthal caves, humanity's story is written in fragments: bones, tools, pigments, and whispers. Among those fragments lie anomalies, artifacts that seem too advanced, carvings that depict the impossible, myths that echo encounters with strange visitors. Some dismiss them as hoaxes, others see them as windows into hidden truths. But the question that lingers is one that shakes the foundations of our understanding. Did time travelers leave evidence in prehistoric history? We have journeyed across the archaeological record, through ooparts like the Klerksdorp spheres and the London hammer, through myths of sky beings and shining visitors, through footprints that seem out of place, and through cave paintings that hint at knowledge beyond survival. We have seen how scientists respond with caution, how alternative thinkers embrace the unknown, and how physics itself leaves open the door, however narrow, to the possibility of bending time. And yet the most profound revelation is not about whether time travelers walked among our ancestors. It is about what these mysteries reflect back to us. The mirror of mystery.
Time travel is in many ways a metaphor. To wonder if someone from the future stood beside a Neanderthal is also to ask, what is our relationship with the past? Every fossil we uncover, every cave we enter, every myth we study, these are our ways of traveling back, not with machines, but with imagination and science. Perhaps the true time travelers are us, archaeologists, scientists, storytellers, and dreamers who reach across millennia to connect with those who came before. By reconstructing their lives, their struggles, and their art, we collapse the distance between now and then. The fragile puzzle of humanity. Prehistoric history reminds us of how fragile evidence is. Entire civilizations may rise and vanish without leaving a trace. Myths can survive longer than monuments. A single artifact can rewrite entire chapters of human evolution. If time travelers existed, their evidence would be faint, scattered, and ambiguous. But even if they did not, the fact that we continue to search reveals something powerful: humanity's refusal to accept easy answers. We are explorers not only of lands and stars, but of time itself. The bigger question. And so we arrive at the heart of the mystery. Whether or not time travelers from the future walked among mammoth hunters, the real question is, do we truly know everything about our origins? The answer is clear. No, we do not. Every year, archaeology surprises us. A new fossil species emerges, a cave painting is dated thousands of years earlier than expected, a lost city is uncovered beneath jungle or sea. The past is not fixed, it is alive, waiting to be rediscovered. And if the past still holds secrets, then so does the future. One day we ourselves may become the visitors in another era's myths. One day our descendants may look back at us with the same wonder we direct toward Neanderthals and Ice Age shamans. A final reflection. So let us ask one last time, did time travelers leave evidence in prehistoric history? We cannot say for certain, but what we can say is this: the possibility invites us to live with wonder, humility, and imagination. It reminds us that the story of humanity is not complete and may never be. The firelight of prehistory still flickers. In it, we see both our ancestors and ourselves. Perhaps just beyond the shadows, we glimpse figures that do not belong, visitors from another time, watching, waiting, leaving faint traces that whisper across millennia. And now, I turn the question to you. What do you believe? Are the anomalies of prehistory mere accidents of geology and imagination, or are they the echoes of travelers who walked through time itself? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know which theory you find most compelling. If you enjoyed this journey into the mysteries of human evolution, archaeology, and lost civilizations, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell icon so you won't miss our next exploration into the hidden chapters of history. Because the past is never truly past. It is a mirror, a mystery, and perhaps a doorway.